All right, it's currently 13 degrees in Memphis, Tennessee. This is freezing. So I'm cooking from the home kitchen. I dressed up a little bit to keep me warm. In true Canadian fashion, I've got my toque on. Whew. Yeah, and go Habs, go. Hometown, gotta go for the Habs. Yeah, it's hot now. Whew. All right, but trying to keep it safe for everybody. Hello to Vancouver. What's going on, Canucks? Mooseheads, Halifax. Hope you're watching today. Little Sens action from Ottawa, the nation's capital. Always gotta recognize the nation's capital. Yeah, go Leafs. Ballad of Wendell Clark. Go Leafs. Working on that Stanley Cup this year, right? Sure. Calgary action, Lanny McDonald, classic. Yeah. Winnipeg. Ooh, Winnipeg, gotta love it. Go Jets. And for everybody else that I missed, go Team Canada. Hey TCS, and welcome to another edition of Cooking with Coronavirus. I'm your host, Shawn Danko, class of 88, the Kooky Canuck in Memphis, Tennessee, and we are cooking from the home kitchen today. And what are we making? Chicken paprikash. Chicken paprikash? Yes, chicken paprikash. All right, paprika chicken, if you're not so good on the Hungarian side, get it. The quintessential Hungarian comfort food. It's quick, it's easy, it's affordable, and it just fills you up. It goes a long way. So chicken paprikash. Okay, for chicken paprikash, let's run through the ingredients that we're gonna need today. We've got a whole chicken. You don't have to use a whole chicken. You can use parts of a chicken. We've got some chicken thighs. You can use white meat, you can use dark meat, it doesn't matter. Break down the chicken by yourself, buy it in parts, with skin, without skin, it doesn't really matter. We can use all of it. In fact, today we're gonna use a little bit of both. Okay, we've got onions. Any white onion will do. Vidalia, just regular white, doesn't matter. White onion. All right, we're gonna need some oil. I've got some vegetable oil, I've got some olive oil, sunflower oil, it doesn't matter. I've actually got a little bit of bacon grease in the pot today from some eggs and bacon that I made earlier. That'll work too. And we also need paprika. And there's some sweet and some hot. If you like it spicy, go hot. If you're not into spicy, go regular. But if you can find some regular Hungarian paprika, this is what you're looking for. If it's just paprika, doesn't matter, it'll all work. We're gonna use some jalapeno peppers in this one. Typically we would use a banana pepper, a Hungarian banana pepper. I didn't have any at the store today, so we're gonna use jalapeno peppers just to give it a little bit of added heat. For the Trinis out there, we know you never like it hot enough, so you can add as much matuk as you want later on. It's okay with me. We've got some carrots. Just regular carrots. We're going to use these in a couple different ways towards the end of the recipe. And then along with the chicken paprikash, we are going to make some dumplings, and with just some flour, eggs, water, and some oil. Along with the ingredients that I just mentioned, there's a couple other things that are quintessential to the cooking today. For all the alumni out there, for the parents that are watching, you will need some Molson Canadian to go along with the recipe. This is very good. For the students that are watching today, this will get you gated and running a lot of quarters. This is not good for you. Don't do it. Quarters, gated, bad. So for you, we can switch to some Canada Dry ginger ale. This one's got a little bit of lemon. It's okay. Regular with lemon, doesn't matter. Of course, being Canadian and being from Quebec, every recipe, doesn't matter what you're cooking, requires maple syrup. I had some bulk maple syrup I poured into this thing, but we're gonna try to put some maple syrup in there, and because we're Canadian and this is what we do, and maple syrup makes everything taste better. Why is that not working? Dang. This is where I was going to insert the red light after that to say, no, we're not putting any maple syrup in this. As much as I love it, as much as it's great, no maple syrup in the chicken paprikash today. Okay, so in spirit of coronavirus cooking or cooking with coronavirus, we will assume that I've washed my hands diligently and wearing gloves and I've got a mask on and I'm properly socially distancing amongst everybody before we get started. So just so that's clear, we're gonna go right ahead and get into the chicken. All right, so I've got the whole chicken right here. We're gonna break it down ourselves and get things going. Yeah, you're not gonna cook with this. Take that out. Take it out now before it gets messy, okay? I'm taking that out. All right. Okay, breaking down the chicken, we're gonna break it down into legs, thighs, breast, wings. We can go ahead and take the wings off. One wing. Two wings. Legs, get in there. It does not need to be perfect, okay? One leg. Does not need to be perfect, okay? No surgical scalpel needed. Just get in there and take the other leg off. So we've got that. We're gonna cut down the center of the back. Right down the center, one side of the backbone. Sorry for all the vegans out there. You may wanna switch off and turn the channel. So we got one side of the breast. Again, it does not need to be perfect. The skin, fine, don't worry about it. If you don't like the skin, take it off. We're gonna tuck down the center of the other side of the chicken. I know, this doesn't look pretty. This is ugly. But you know what? When you put it in the pot, it's gonna add flavor to the dish and we're gonna go with it, all right? Cut one thigh off. So we got a thigh, we've got a breast, and a thigh, okay? So we've got all the parts to our chicken, breasts, thighs, wings, all right? So these are ready to go in the pot. When we're ready, we've already got some of the other stuff done. So here we go. Okay, so the chicken is broken down. We've got that chicken ready to go. We've got the thighs that I bought with no bone. Those are also sitting in the bowl. Onions, we're gonna go ahead and cut these up. We're just simply very basic chop. Take your tops and your bottoms off. We're gonna peel all the outer skin off. The chop on these, you can cut them in thin slices, or we're gonna dice these. For me, I like them diced. If you like them thick cut them. If you like them thin, small, doesn't matter. Again, it's all going in the same pot. It's gonna add flavor to the dish. Doesn't matter what it looks like. We've got our onions ready to go. Okay, like I said, we're just gonna dice these. If you wanna make life easier for you, we're gonna make 2 cuts into the side of the onion like this after we've cut it in half. Then we're gonna run the knife down in about 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch pieces, depending on how thick you want it. And we've got some diced onions ready to go. We're gonna complete the rest of the onions in this way, and those will get ready to go in the pot. Just want to take this opportunity to give a quick shout out to all the fellow Bethune House folks that are watching today. Go Bethune, rockin' house, man. #1, TCS, yes. Little haters, Ted Stoughton. If you're watching today, Ted, here's to you. Mike Hargraft, Matt Campbell, Mrs. Hargraft, this one's to you. My life was inevitably changed by you and what you did for me, and I appreciate it. Love you, TCS. Okay, here we go. We've got the pot on the stove. You can see some bacon grease that I had left over from earlier today, so I've got that. I'll probably add a little bit more vegetable oil. Again, you can use Crisco shortening, olive oil, nothing too spicy or nothing too flavorful on the olive oil side. So we got the oil, it's on the heat. We're gonna add our onions. Onions. Look, I like onions in this dish. I think they're great. I probably put more than most, but no worries. So what we're gonna do now with the onions is gonna get these down, softened, just until they're clear. Let those cook. And we're gonna come back once those are done and start adding the paprika. Okay, so the onions have been cooking for a little bit now. We're starting to see the onions get a little more translucent. They're starting to brown a little bit. We're getting very close to adding the paprika to these. And once we start adding the paprika, we are looking to create a roux. And so most of you may be familiar with roux from a flour and fat, and we're essentially going to do the same thing, but instead of the flour we're using paprika. So as we continue to let these onions cook down just a little bit further, we're going to come back and start adding the paprika. Hey, what's up, Canada? All right, hey, we've got the onions. We've just taken these off the heat. They're a little bit caramelized. They've got some translucency to them, and we've got sweet paprika and hot paprika. I like spicy. So again, we're gonna create a roux. And you're like, holy smoke, that was a lot of paprika. Yeah, oh, there comes some more. Okay. All right, so we're creating the roux. And the goal is to get as much of that fat absorbed by the paprika as we can. So we've got a little bit of hot, a little bit of sweet, still got some moisture left in there, some more sweet, and some more hot. And you're still going, what in the world is the guy doing, man? What is the guy from Class of '88 doing? I know, it's crazy. Crazy talk how much paprika we just added. But again, in order to create that roux, we've got to absorb as much of the fat into the spice as we possibly can. And we're getting close. We're getting close. And he's like, oh, here we go again. He's adding more paprika. Cray. Yeah, all right, that was some more sweet. And some more hot. Okay. We're getting close. This is again off the heat. So I've taken this off the heat to mix in this so we're not getting anything too burnt to a crisp as we get into this method. Okay, so I would say that we've got pretty good absorption of the spice and the fat, and we're ready to go to chicken. Okay, so we've got our onion and paprika roux in the pot. I've turned the heat back on. We are gonna add our chicken. So this was the chicken that we broke down earlier, plus the additional thighs. We got some people coming over for dinner later. Social distance, of course. So I've added some more chicken to the pot. So here we go. We're just gonna take this, dump that in. What we are looking to do now is sear the chicken. So I've got it on a high heat. You're gonna see me mix it around a little bit so that we get good coverage of the chicken and making sure that we're cooking it and getting it seared on all sides. So the goal is get it seared in the pot with the paprika and onion roux. And then once that's done, we are gonna just let it sit. So bear with me, we're gonna get it seared. I'll show you what that looks like in a second. Okay, once again, high heat. We're continuing to sear the chicken. You can see that I've mixed in the paprika and onion roux with the chicken pieces, getting that all amalgamated and then searing. So I'm gonna continue to stir as we go along. The goal is to get everything nice and cooked on the outside before we reduce heat. Okay, we got the chicken cooking behind us. Here's the little secret tip that my grandmother used to do to add a little bit more sweetness and take some of the bitterness out of the dish, taking the outside of the carrot, and we're just gonna scrape the carrot. You can kind of see me taking a little bit of the exterior skin off, all right? So we've got some of these shavings from the carrot. We're gonna add these in to the dish. So we're gonna add these into the pot. So I'll probably scrape maybe about a half of the carrot on these carrot shavings, and this adds a little bit of sweetness to the pot, taking the bitterness away. So a little secret tip from Nana. Okay, so we've got the chicken. It's really high heat. We've seared most of the outside. I'm gonna add some of the shavings to the carrot shavings. You can see those go right in the pot. Okay, so really high heat. Now that we've got all the exterior of the chicken seared, what we're gonna do is we're gonna reduce the heat, and then we're gonna add a lid to it and let it cook. All right, chicken has come down. I've lowered the heat. Here's another added step. So Nana used to use some of the shaved carrot. That's great. Banana pepper typically, but in our case, we've got a jalapeno. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add the whole jalapeno to the actual pot. Why? Because we want a little bit more heat. I already put the hot paprika in, right? So like I don't know, maybe I'm a little crazy, but spicy is good for my opinion. If you don't like spicy, do not do this step. Do not do the step. You can use just a standard non-hot banana pepper for some added flavor, but we're not looking to do anything other than insert the whole pepper into the dish. If you want it really hot, you can cut it open, but again, it's entirely up to you. So we're just gonna plop this into the pot for some added heat and let it go. Okay, so the chicken paprikash is cooking on the stove. We've gone through the process of adding the oil, the onion, the paprika. We've added the chicken and we've seared it down. We've added a little bit of the carrot shavings and the jalapeno. But realize that we've added no additional liquid, and this is on purpose because we want the chicken to stew in its own juices. We don't want to dilute it by adding any additional water or wine or any other liquids. So we're allowing it to cook in its own juices. Now, we're not going to stir the pot from here on in. So if you're looking at it and you think you might be burning because it's too dry and there's not enough liquid in there, go ahead and add a little bit of water. That's okay. But outside of that, let it go. If it looks like it's got enough moisture in the pot and it's cooking nicely in its own juice, lids on, let it go. You're gonna be just fine. Okay, chicken paprikash is on the stove. It's cooking. It's about 30 minutes since it's been cooking. We probably don't have very much longer on that. So we're gonna start ahead on, in Hungarian, nokedli. Some may know it as spätzle, some may know it as just a dumpling. So we're gonna create a noodle. And it's flour, egg, oil, water. Look, if you wanna not fuss with the nokedli or the noodles and making them from hand, you can buy some small. These are Hungarian, really small noodles. You can use these too, like just cook these, and instead of making the nokedli, use these instead. So a couple options to you. You don't even need these if you don't want. If you want to cut back on the carbs, if you're super carb conscious, don't need them. Okay, let's go ahead and make the nokedli. We've got 2 eggs. We're going to crack those in the bowl. And then we're going to add about 3/4 cup of water as well. 3/4 cup of water and about 3.5 tablespoons of oil. Just vegetable oil is fine. We got 1, 2, 3.5. And we're going to mix this up as our liquid base before we add the flour. So just mixing the oil, water, and egg all together. Pretty simple. A little bit of salt too. Pinch. Sounds good. Want more, add more. Want less, add less. Your call. So we've got our liquid mixture, and now we are going to add the flour. And I get, just add slowly as you go. This is about 3.5 cups of flour. Just add it slowly. You don't want it to be overly thick because we're going to have to work it into the hot water, which is boiling behind us. I've added just a little bit of salt to the water to make it seasoned. So we're going to kind of judge this as it goes to get the right consistency. And like I say, don't add everything all at once, so kind of go easy with your flour. Okay, so we've added all the flour, added just a little bit more water just to get the right consistency in the dough. It's not dough, it's really not dough. You don't want it to be doughy, so you want it to be somewhat pliable. You want it to fall off the spoon, okay? So when we start working this into the boiling water, you want it to be pliable. You do not want it hard in any way, shape, or form, but you don't want it to be watery either. So a nice consistency in between. You kind of see it falling off the spatula there. So nice and smooth, your egg, water, oil, a little bit of salt. You've got your base for the nokedli. And we're gonna get ready to go to the stove and make this for our chicken paprikash. All right, so in order to make the nokedli, the noodles, the dumpling, the spätzle, we have a couple options. Okay, so if you wanna get super swanky about it, you've got this spätzle maker that you just put everything in here and then you push through with a spatula. So that's like the ultra swanky method. Nana did not have one of these, for the record. Now, you could also use a cheese grater in these larger, the larger area of the holes. You could take that with your spatula and just push it through there over the pot of boiling water. That's an option. Or you can do what Nana did, and God bless her. I wish I had learned this talent when she was around, because she was darn good at it. And she would literally sit there with the side of the bowl and spoon dumplings into the water. And it's like, oh, it sounds really easy. And like, yeah, until you try it. And it's like, ooh, wait, that's a talent. And yeah, she would just spoon little bits of the dough into the boiling water for the nokedli. So those are the three options. Any one of which will work, no issue. We'll head over to the stove in a second to see how these all work. Okay, pot of boiling water is on. We've got our ultra swanky, bougie spätzle nokedli maker. So we're gonna put that right over top of the pot of boiling water, and we're just gonna take a scoop, put that in there, and then work it back and forth through the holes until there's none left on the top. Just back and forth, you got nothing left in there. Little tap, and we're ready to go. Cheese grater method. We take a little scoop of that and we just push it through the holes of the cheese grater. That'll work. Into the water they go. Or doing it Nana style. And again, I don't know how she got it to come right off the darn spoon, but yeah. All right, you gotta be like, this is like expert level. You gotta do this for a while. This is nano level stuff. But basically you would just take it and scoop it into the water as such. And they'd be a little bit bigger than what we're going to see come out of the water, but essentially same thing, same method. 1 second. Okay, so we've got the dumplings. They've gone into the water. And once they float to the surface, you're good to go. And we just take that with a slotted spoon into the dish. You're gonna coat these with a little bit of oil so that they don't stick. And you can save these for later. You can do these ahead and save them for the night, then just reheat in a pan. Don't microwave them. God bless, don't microwave them. Just heat them in a pan with a little bit of oil in them to get them warm again so they don't stick, and you are good to go. Okay, the gnocchi is done. Dumplings, the spätzle, we're just taking them out of the water. God, it smells so good. Smell-o-vision, sometimes good, sometimes bad. This time it would be good. Noodles look great. They don't take very long to cook. Literally, they're probably in the water for maybe 60 to 120 seconds, 1 to 2 minutes. And then once they're done, you just pull them out of the pot and they look awesome. These are great. So we're gonna put this as the base to our chicken paprikash. So we'll put these in the bowl on the bottom and then place the chicken paprikash over the top. And again, just it's a little bit more heartiness to the bowl. Again, if you're carb conscious, don't need it. Don't worry about it. Just do the chicken paprikash by itself. No worries at all. All right, the chicken's been cooking probably longer than it should, but it's not. It's good. You know, it's a stew essentially. You can see the jalapeno that I've had cooking in there with it, and we've got a really rich red paprika broth with all the chicken in there. Flavor is just outstanding. Okay, we've got the carrots in there, and once again, you can add carrots if you wish. You can add potatoes if you like, or some turnip, parsnip, whatever you like, some root vegetables. Just add them for some additional presence on the plate in addition to the chicken and the noodles. So we've added these carrots towards the end of the cooking period, just so they're kind of steamed and cooked al dente. We'll add those to the plate on top of the chicken. Okay, the chicken paprikash is done. The carrots are done. We are gonna take these and we're gonna just move everything over into another dish to reserve for we're ready to serve. And what we're gonna do now is work on the sauce. So we're taking out all the chicken and the carrots. There's the backbone that we talked about earlier. Meat so tender, it's just falling off the bone. Absolutely falling off the bone. Like I said, we're just kind of reserving this to the side so that we can prepare our sauce. We're gonna add some sour cream to this to just make it a little richer than what it is. My grandmother, Nana, never used to add sour cream. We did a trip to Hungary to visit some relatives, some cousins in Hungary, and lo and behold, next thing you know, they're adding sour cream, and they're like, ooh, Nana never used to put sour cream in there, and it was so good. So, okay, we've got some chicken still at the bottom, that's fine. You can see the juice. We're gonna add a little sour cream to this. Okay, we've got our sour cream, and we're just going to take some of the sour cream. Again, you're gonna eyeball it, whatever works for you. Just something that's creamy. Oh my God. Ridiculous. Just absolutely ridiculous. So you see we're changing the color a little bit, scraping the crunchy bits off the bottom of the pan, and just creating incredible paprika gravy. the onions, the chicken, the sour cream. You can add as much or as little or none of the sour cream as you like. But we're gonna create a super rich gravy. And there we go. So we've got our chicken on the side and the carrots and our gravy. And coming back over here, we've got our noodles and we're gonna plate right here. Oh, Canada. Oh, Canada. Okay, TCS, we're ready to go. So we've got the noodles done, the nokkedli, the dumplings, the spätzle. We've got our chicken paprika with the additional carrots. We've got the gravy going on, and now we're just ready to plate. So you guys, just in case you didn't see it earlier, I've got my Oh Canada plate ready to go. Keeping it Canada, keeping it Canada. All right, folks, we're ready to plate. All right, here we go. So we've got our noodles that we cooked earlier, the nokkedli. We're just gonna put those right on the bottom of the plate. Start there first. Add as much or as little as you like, up to you. Play it by ear. Then we're gonna take some of our chicken, a little bit of a leg, some thigh meat, a wing, a little bit of carrot in there. I buried the carrots. I can't even get to them. Oh well. All right, so all the chicken and this wonderful paprika gravy that we've added the sour cream to, and we're just ladling that over the top of the chicken and the nokkedli. Fork. Yep, totally forgot the fork. 1 second. All right, TCS, well, here's to you in this coronavirus world that we are all unfortunately living. I say to you from Memphis, Tennessee, I miss you all. I hope you're doing great. Hope all your families are well and safe. Kudos to Stuart Granger and the work he's doing along with the TCS staff at TCS, mobily, via Zoom or whatever platforms you're working. Chris Brown, class of '88, and his son, Hudson, who has just said absolutely unbelievable things about what is going on in this remote world that students are living in. So for TCS students around the world, in the United States, in Canada, chicken paprikash, go Expos. I say to you, Elmer Bourget, thank you. Delicious. Love you guys. Take care. All the best.